welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 110. Games so good, you played them twice. With me, George, as always joined by, well, a man so sexy, they incarcerated him twice. Fresh from the New York penitentiary, he's invited me back to our family village, Famerton, where he's trying to make ends meet, and he's trying to make an honest woman out of Big Rick. How's it going? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing
really
all
have
right.
Any choice, did I?
You didn't. Where have you moored the submarine up anyway?
One good thing about a submarine is you can get out of it. Albucho's fitted this button.
Yeah.
Doop. Hatch closes. It submerges. Stealth.
How do you get off? Do you have to swim as it submerges?
I haven't really thought that through.
If you run fast enough, maybe you don't sink.
No, I swam.
Oh, good.
But now I've realised that
It's cold in the North Sea.
It is.
Very
and
cold.
I did that over a very deep hole. And now if I have to swim down to press the button to get it, 'cause he's more of a Caribbean man, isn't he?
He is.
Shallow,
Yeah.
it's warm.
He's not going to like that. I hadn't thought about that in the design.
It's sat on the sea bottom. It's safe.
It is.
By the time he's served his 3 life sentences, he can go get it.
He can, yeah.
I left the keys under the rear tail fin.
It's only nuclear anyway, isn't it? I mean, what can go wrong?
Hadn't really. Anyway, let's give fans new and older run.
Just to get out there, because I have a new agent now. That's why I've been brought back in. His fee is even more ridiculous than all the others that I've had.
Tell me about it.
Dastardly Darren.
And what?
He moved to Famerton and just sort of he dropped a card through the letterbox.
Scooped up all the set listers?
It was sort of Patrick Bateman quality of business card. I mean, it was pretty classic. Embossed paper and italic writing. It was better than mine, I can tell you. So, yeah, that was just a win-win for me. I thought, I'll give him 30% takings.
He gets 30% of
he
what
does,
I pay?
Yeah. Of your cut, not mine.
I don't know why you've been obsessed with this, but I don't have a cut. You were the only person that ever got paid for this show.
Well, I know.
And it's still... Anyway, new fans and old. There's going to be some new fans that are like, who's this ex-con they've got on the show? Well, don't worry. He's one of the founding fathers of this show. Coming up, we've got some news. Also some birthday news. So if you're a listener and your birthday's coming up, happy birthday. But that one particular special, beautiful person is going to get a very personal birthday.
Extra for birthday readouts.
Are you on that thing, with Boise and Kerry Katona where people pay 30?
Yeah, I'm on there. I'm on there.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
I forgot. Well, coming up after the news, we've got the feature. So good. Games so good you played them twice. I don't really have anything to say about that. I normally go to the locker and get out a quick quip. There was nothing in there. I looked to you and you just thought, I'm going to watch George Strait. It's cool. After that, the real deal, the meat and veg of the show, the thing that really everyone turns up for, it's a sound effect, and he played singularly. He can play it when he leaves. Some say it's a thing of imagination, but we've had guests, David Perry. I mean, let's face it. I thought he was high, but we'll never know.
He was great. He was
not
great.
Back on, I shouldn't think.
No, but fair play to him. He
played his character well, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Did very well.
He was well into the Farmington era, and we're back here, so maybe you should come back. Talking to people who want to come back, Mike Rouse wants to.
Does he?
Yes. Oh. There's lots of questions. I've been researching lots lately, and I thought, Mike Rouse will know the answer to that. Mike Rouse was involved in that, so we'll get him back. Once Stingray's done, he's left. The only thing left, really, is for me to ask you what you're hoping to play, and then for you to contractually ignore me.
Yeah.
But before we get to that end section of the show, Odders, or in honour of Tom, Ozcat, Oddcat, whatever you want to call yourself.
Oddbins.
Yeah. Oddbins. You've not been here. It's been sacrosanct. Peace. I don't want to say anymore. But grab whatever it is you were going to grab, attached to whatever it is I said that we were going to do. That usual routine, Odders. You know the crack. Tom, what have you been playing?
Well, recently I downloaded the free PS Plus game, Plague Tale of Innocence.
Ooh.
Really enjoying that. It's a nice little game. We were discussing earlier, it reminds me of a Naughty Dog medieval game.
Yeah, that was
much
the
in
impression
the
I
vein
got.
of Last of Us. You play a young girl who's trying to escort her brother through this medieval France, avoiding the plague rats and English knights and various things. Really cool. Yeah.
Oh, so the English serve as the enemies.
Yeah, I think there's like French. It does give a bit of history at the start and fills out throughout the game a little bit. Quite how much of that is true, I don't know. But
so that's, I presume, it's got like areas you have to clear, and then you go to the next area, a bit like Last of Us. Or...
yeah, it is very much like that. It's linear, story driven. The areas are quite a nice size, and they're really the PS5 version is really up the graphics and looks stunning in places. I talked to you earlier about you emerge from some woodlands and you get to this old watermill. It looks like an old Turner painting or something you'd see hanging on the National Gallery wall. It's pretty fantastic looking at times.
It's had
big overhaul, I
big
think.
Boost,
The rats, as we said, they look a little bit, considering how many's on screen, it's still impressive. And the way there's quite a cool thing where you use your main weapon or your only weapon is a sling. I was going to say slingshot, but it's just an old-fashioned sling, like David versus Goliath type weapon. You can hit the enemy's lamps because the fire keeps the rats away, so firelight. So you can hit a enemy lamp and then they just engulf him because obviously he hasn't got the light, and the animation on that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I think you'd like it. I mean, if you get past the stealth bits, which aren't that difficult, they're just the usual, can be frustrating occasionally.
Are they Spider-Man Mary Jane stealth?
I just found those a bit boring and a bit annoying.
They were easy.
Yeah, they're not overly difficult. You have got to think about what you're doing a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And as the story progresses and you unlock different things you can load into your sling and different abilities, I'll not spoil anything, but it just give you more options to situations, whereas very early on in the game, you've got to get used to just sneaking and just stealth your way through. If you can get through that first hour, then it opens up a bit.
My gentle left analog touch has been measured at 6.8 tons. I go from
like a hydraulic ram just going coming through.
Full on run in less.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that for a free game. I think the other thing I've been playing, obviously I've not been on the show for a while. I've played Resident Evil Village, Returnal, and Ratchet and Clank, all the R's.
Look at him with all the time now.
Yeah, I have actually found time for some of those. Enjoyed all of them, all really good. I'd probably say I enjoyed Resident Evil Village the most out of all of them. But anyway, getting back, I downloaded the DLC pack for Streets of Rage 4, a very an old favourite among many of the listeners, many of the older original listeners. A classic Streets of Rage series.
Very rare YouTube on our YouTube
we have,
playthrough.
Yeah,
not playthrough.
Played through the first level, yeah.
No, we didn't. We played through the sewer level. Didn't we?
Oh, we might have done, yeah. We might have got a bit further then.
Maybe not.
But I'm really enjoying that. It's got a survival mode now, which is good fun. You can play that single player or co-op, and you work your way through a bit like if you ever played Devil May Cry, The Bloody Palace, or those type of keep going through the levels and basically one life.
The Bloody Palace.
Yeah. Great time.
You were just in short pants.
Short trousers.
3/4
length. So there's new characters in Streets of Rage 4 DLC. You've got Max, who was originally in Streets of Rage 2. He's a boss in 4, but you actually get to play as him in this one. Really nice moveset. It feels a little bit OP at the moment. You got Shiva. Many knows a renowned boss in martial arts, like that guy in films or games you always fight before the main boss, just tough as nails and
probably actually harder than the main boss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of the time they are, and
it's like in real life. He's the actual boss and the actual business is fine, but he's gatekeeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see you as a gatekeeper.
Yeah?
No. It's my area.
I'd be like that one in what's the Monty Python Holy Grail who just guards the bridge. He blows up eventually or something. Yeah, that's me.
I see.
Estelle is the last character, the policewoman, if you remember her. Like long blonde braid. She's cool. Got a really nice moveset, like got flashbang and very like police orientated martial arts, like lots of sort of elbows and throws and nothing too flashy.
Although I like look at it.
For a cartoon side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Look at this, thought into this simulation.
Some new coloured skins for the characters, some new music. Of course, the music in Streets of Rage is very popular, isn't it?
Very good.
Rightfully so. It's very good. So yeah, if you're thinking about picking it up, I'd definitely say yeah. It's got at the moment, if you've got I think Xbox Live membership or PS Plus, you can get a bit of a discount on it.
How much is it?
I think mine cost me like £4.60, which I think is great value for what you get.
Sofa scraping for a man like you.
Absolutely. I've made that in that first 10 seconds intro.
The only reason you're here.
Absolutely.
You probably, have I earned enough? Yeah, technically 5 minutes.
Get it downloaded.
See you in a bit.
I'm off now. I'm only on here until I get enough for a Steam Deck anyway, and then I'm going.
Okay, well, see me to the end.
I was sold down the river with my Valve over the week when I saw that on the news, but yeah, we might quickly discuss
Stick
that.
to the end of the feature and you've learned enough.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, I better ask you, what have you been playing?
You've been very kind.
I am. I'm feeling generous.
You put in the Backlog of Shame episode where you never had to ask me anything over again. That's had so many downloads.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Controversy always attracts attention, doesn't it?
What a good episode. Actually, I listened back to it not that long ago, and I couldn't even find the bits. I was like, fast forward through it. I was like, oh, maybe we imagined it worse than it was. What have I been playing? Ratchet and Clank. Mm-hmm. So just knocking the bits off. I've had a little bit of extra time here this week. Obviously moving back to Famerton. Mm-hmm. Got the I'm just thoroughly enjoying that. I don't want to. I've got to the bit where you can go off and you can do the end game sequence, and I don't want to. I want to go off and get all the other bits that I need to get. So when I drop it, the platinum drops. We'll see how long my patience lasts before I had enough of that. I've also been playing. Oh,
did you see any of the Easter eggs within the different dimensions of things dropping in?
No.
There's nothing coming up that's spoiled. This will be before you would have seen them if you'd have seen them. But I never saw one, which was a Thunderjaw from Horizon.
Although I haven't had anything. I thought that would happen at the end game, and I've been kind of looking forward to it.
There might be bits in the end. I can't remember.
Because I've seen some clips of the different dimensions that open up and was like, wow, that'd be great. Looking forward to seeing that. And I've not seen one.
Yeah. There's a few in there. So I'll say no more.
Okay, well, I look forward to that.
I think they could probably do something with that going forward as well for a sequel.
Or make a new PlayStation, or the PlayStation version of Smash, which was terrible. You thinking they can use Ratchet and Clank's Dimension there to make...
I don't see why they don't have another stab at that now, because the characters PlayStation have built even more so since that came out. You got Astrobot. You could have Kratos and Atreus as just a bit like Ice Climbers in Smash Brothers, like a dual character, but they play as one. Nathan Drake, Joel, Ellie. what's the one everyone hated in Last of Us?
Abby.
Which we didn't. Abby. We're a big champion of Abby on the show,
Abby's
aren't
an
we?
Absolutely brilliant character. Probably the best character in Last of Us in a long time.
Yeah. I think if they ever do any DLC, which they haven't confirmed, but I think it might.
Scared of. I think they're too terrified to do something because it's controversial. Although if you played it all the way through and dried your eyes over your favourite little teddy bear getting damaged in the first 30 minutes,
I think a lot of people who hated it didn't carry on with it. They just got to that point where I'm not playing this now.
You kind of need, as we said, if you're not sure and you go check out, we did a special episode on Last of Us.
It's a really good one.
We had to do another one,
much enjoyable,
to analyse why people weren't really liking
it. The fallout from that.
Yeah, but I think you have to have those things happen in order and play all the way through to get the feelings and the emotions that they wanted you to feel.
Yeah.
And I've said many times, if it had been another game where Joel and Ellie went on a trek across the US, it'd be lampooned, it'd be boring. Why aren't they innovating?
Yeah. You get blamed for not innovating if you keep it the same.
Yeah.
If you change it, you get blamed for doing something too diverse.
I think I'd much rather be attacked for trying to have a go at doing something different than
absolutely
turning the same thing.
And fair play for any developers who give that a go, because it's not easy these days.
Welcome to episode 110 of the Unofficial Controller Podcast. Intro, middle, and end exactly the same. We then change it. You terrified us.
We change the setting on a regular basis.
Well, the
characters and the lore is
ever in force.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
I've also been playing Resogun.
Yes, which I had a quick go on.
Yeah, which I've absolutely loved. It's so fun. It's got that. It's like Hotline Miami in the fact that you want to have another go. When you die as well, you never feel like you've been shortchanged. It's like, I overreached myself, or I should have used my bomb, or I should have used my boost, or I should have used my overdrive. But I got greedy. I wanted the extra life. I wanted to get that little bit further without. So you kind of hold on. You think you've got the style, and then the ship will just sort of come in around you and have you. But yeah, great game, fun to play. Really enjoyed
Built well
it.
For a portable, isn't it? For a handheld console.
The Vita.
Yeah, the Resogun.
Oh yeah,
is a great title to have on a machine like that. I think.
Yeah, it's on PS4 and it's on PlayStation 5 as well, obviously. But I just like it on the Vita. I don't know what.
Does it look okay? Like enlarged?
I think it's a bit of a different game.
Right. Okay.
That's it. Kind of scrubbed to work on Vita.
Oh, I see. Right.
Because when it first launched, people weren't sure, and they said they were going to bring it to the Vita.
Yeah.
It was allegedly. I think the PS4's been worked. That its socks worked off since then. But when it first came out, everyone was using, I think, Resogun as a way of saying, look at all the sort of voxel animations, look at all the particle effects. No other console right now could be doing, or we had to wait to get to this gen to pull this off, and we're going to give you a Vita version. A lot of people went, what? So I think it looks fine. If you had them side by side, you wouldn't be so great. But
yeah,
it's had some tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I decided to play a little bit more Darkest Dungeon as well, which I don't know if I've ever told you about. It's this weird sort of
roguelite.
No, it's like a turn-based fighting game, but no, not a fighting game. Turn-based role-playing game where you kind of recruit people. It's very darkly done, and it's narrated in a dark way, a bit like Bastion would do, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And you sort of gather up these characters and you go on these quests and you fight enemies in turn-based style. But if you have a member die, then the other people's mental well-being gets affected. Like some of them, if you lose, there's 4 members in the team. If you lose 3 members and it goes down to the last one and they're very nearly dead, you might have them suddenly get this. It doesn't always have to be negative. Sometimes they get inspired by the fact that it's them versus the world. Like you get some Grail Knights and they've got all the right gear on and they love to go in and read chapter and verse to people and give it all that. Whereas you've got other ones like the Plague Doctor who are more support characters who get nervous.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it if you haven't. I don't know if it's on Switch, but it'd be good on there. I think it's on PS4. I play it on the Vita, but if I've waxed lyrical enough about that. But I recommend it. Always recommend checking that out. One would imagine that's a pretty thorough for a game podcast about games. That was an awfully in-depth talk about games. We won't do
It
that
was,
again,
yeah.
listeners. Don't worry. We won't do that again. You come here for, I don't know what you... Not games. Anyway, it's the news. We've scoured the very darkest region of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, I'll pay Tom £30 and he needs to read out a birthday.
Happy birthday, Toxis.
Toxis, happy birthday. You're looking wonderful. No, I can see you. Don't worry. That vase has got a camera in it. No, Don't look at Boboloba. He helped me do it. It's a bit awkward, but at least I can see your face as I wish you happy birthday. Lying there in bed with your ear thingies on. He's forced you to listen to the show. You've listened through damn near 20 minutes at this point. And you're like, why am I listening? Also, someone wish me happy birthday. Life doesn't really get any better than this. And you're the first news item, which, not even God gets that. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Now it's time for the proper news. PlayStation and chill. Netflix appears poised to enter the gaming arena after it announced earlier this week that it hired ex-EA executive Mike Verdu. There's a symbol of success for gamers, isn't there? We're not going to get into gaming, we're going to get EA. They've got a hell of a lot of good feeling in the business. To lead this expansion into the lucrative sector, while this could potentially be considered yet another headache for market leader PlayStation, it's possible. The Japanese giant, I put this in for you, Rumour Boy. The Japanese giant can see an opportunity here. And if images data mined from the streaming services are to be believed, the potential partnership could be afoot. According to data miner Steve Moser, there's a job and a half, isn't there? What did you do today? Well, data mined Netflix. What did you find? A picture of a controller? Great work, Steve. There are already video game references within the Netflix app source code, including a logo for a service called Endgame. Sounds like Nokia's N-Gage. That was also a precursor of success, as well as assets for a couple of unbranded DualSense controllers and Ghost of Tsushima's artwork. These could be errant leftovers from testing, but they've certainly fueled speculation. Here's what Steve had to say on Twitter. He says, Twitter's white image background bites me again. Here's the Endgame logo. If you want to follow Steve on Twitter, it's at Steve Moser. He said, Sony, after all, is already in bed with Netflix, having signed a multi-year US licensing agreement, which will see Sony Pictures Entertainment movies like Uncharted come first to the streaming service following their theatrical and home entertainment release windows. There's unlikely to be much of substance here. Netflix's venture into video games appears to be at a preliminary stage anyway, but it's still fascinating nonetheless. Could Sony perhaps consider Netflix a valuable ally against Game Pass and other disruptive business models? It's far too early to make these kind of calls, but it's interesting to see how this develops, especially as the media giant formulates its entry strategy into an extremely competitive market. PlayStation and chill. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we've seen the big boys try and enter the gaming world, haven't we, before? We've got Apple with its Apple Arcade. We've got Google Stadia. Neither are making that bigger waves, are they, really, in comparison to the main three?
Well, no. We've been hard on Stadia.
Yeah.
I think it's probably, they had a good go. They sacked it off when they probably shouldn't have done. And they probably should have doubled down on it.
You forget that when Microsoft first entered and they had the original Xbox, they didn't do that well out the gate, and they stuck with it and they kept going.
I was watching a documentary about this last night, and it was actually quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
360 did a lot of things right. Obviously, original Xbox was good. You and I had one. We enjoyed it, but it felt like the underdog.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In the fight against PlayStation 2, which obviously had already had a good lead.
And Xbox launched, which was incredibly brave, but it allowed them to dip their toe in the water.
Yeah, I think if you look at how long they've persevered, and obviously the 360 was a very big success, and now they're in a good position.
Well, that was something that I was going to say when the Red Ring started happening. Was it Peter Moore, the guy with the tattoo on his hand? Yeah. Peter Moore had to go to Steve Ballmer, I think. Because when the Red Rings first started happening, they kind of brushed it off.
Mm.
And then someone made Peter Moore explicitly aware of how bad it was.
Yeah.
And he did some maths. He had to knock on his boss's door, Steve, who he did say, and quite rightly, he looks quite a scary guy. But in this moment, he was completely chill. He went in and said, "We've got a problem. This is how much it's going to cost us." He said, 1.15 billion.
Wow.
He said, "Oh my goodness, what's that going to do? That's going to bring the consoles back. It's going to get the fix. It's going to send them back out there, but it's going to do it in a classic way. If we don't do it in this way, the brand is dead." Mate said, "Whatever it takes, please go do it."
Wow.
So it's that kind of forward thinking that maybe Google didn't have. They went off and they got the exclusivity of Cyberpunk, which technically could have been the best place to play it. You know, it would have looked as good as your internet could give you.
Yeah.
And they had some games on the system, but not loads, and none that you probably hadn't played already. It's that Wii U scenario.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a lot of stuff you've already played, and they forget as well, like, there's a massive population in the country, but a lot of us still don't have like a really solid internet connection.
True.
I think streaming's still a little way off reaching its mass potential because the connections just aren't there. Where I live, we're on copper wire rather than fibre optic, and it's not bad. It's all right. But if I tried to stream
there's fibre in the street in Famerton, friend.
There is, yes, but it's apparently the box is full, according to British Telecom.
Who works at British Telecom? Tell me his name begins with a B. His last name's got to end with a T, isn't it? Brian Thomas from down 68 Acacia Avenue. He's a BT guy.
Is he?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Brian Thomas.
BT Brian. So yeah, I think the streaming thing is a bit of a way off. But going back to the original subject, I think this is actually true. I think we'll see PlayStation games on. If they're going to come in, they're not going to do it half-hearted. So they need a bigger boy to hold their hand on the first day of school.
Out of all the games that people probably haven't had a chance to play, Ghost of Tsushima is still kind of out the reach, as it's not been a PSN game.
Yeah,
way as part of that.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5.
It might be something as simple as they just offer a few exclusives, or say exclusives that are exclusive on PlayStation already, but then allow them.
I just don't know how Ghost of Tsushima through Netflix, which is through a lot of people's TVs and plug-in boxes from years ago.
It's not so much a casual game, is it? Really?
Well, I'm more concerned about the delivery format. Because some people have got these tiny little sticks. People have got
comes
TVs
with a bundle.
10 years ago.
Watch Seven Samurai, get Ghost of Tsushima.
Perfect.
That's the sort of stuff I'd
can see that being Ghost of Lego bricks. It's pixelated. This is a mosaic. Stand further back and then squint. Oh wow, great graphics! Now open your eyes and sit in the room. What is that? You worry.
It's a piece of modern art.
It is a piece of modern art. Until you back up enough.
Yeah. What else we got?
Those big open skies. Those full up hard drives. Microsoft Flight Simulator will be finally with us on Xbox Series X and S Games Pass just over a week. Tuesday, July 27th, but you're going to need to find some space as it will take up around 100 gigabytes on your console. A preliminary file size has begun to show up if you hit Manage with Game Pass or Flight Sim page on Xbox Store, which indicates that at the very least you're looking at a size of 97.2, which was shared by the @IdleSloth84 on Twitter. If you want to go follow that, an idle sloth. They're already idle, but imagine an actual idle. You're in the sloth family, and look at him. He's idle. Yeah. Can you believe that's an insult?
Yeah, it is.
The Microsoft Store's approximate size suggestion mentions that the game could go all the way up to 150 gigabytes on the Xbox Series X. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. At the time of writing, you sadly still can't pre-download the game. Hitting the pre-install button simply downloads a 200 megabyte placeholder file instead. It's no surprise that Microsoft Flight Simulator is packing a massive file size on Xbox Series X and Series S, and it's very similar on PC. Although it recently reduced its PC size from 170 gig to 83. So you better start deleting some of those games. Question.
I would love to play that, but mainly the Top Gun add-on they're bringing to it, which that's just going to be brilliant, isn't it?
Me and Bobby described you a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I was like, I'll probably have like 5 seconds on it, and then I'll move on. And then someone said about Top Gun, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And I'll just describe to you.
Mate, Flight Stick, even if you could get the VR headset working on it, and just like, yeah.
Where are you getting a Flight Stick from?
I don't know.
You better got a working control.
Going to run it on my Steam Deck.
Of course.
Download Windows, download Games Pass, get Flight Simulator.
Will Steam Deck run that?
It's going to run Windows, apparently.
Should have put that in.
Wait, it'll run anything a PC runs. So if they get Windows, then you can get Games Pass and away you go.
Gaming on the go, just leveled up. Solitaire and Minesweeper, baby. I'm not messing about. They're killer apps as far as I'm concerned.
What do you think to that? If we're at the end of the news, have we got a moment just to quickly talk about it? The Steam Deck.
Oh, the Steam Deck. Yeah,
the Steam train.
About your incarceration and what for? We never.
No. Wow, yeah.
I
wrote her a letter of confession to you and Bobby, but it never got read out. Probably still somewhere.
It's in the show's email.
Well, there you go. Never opened. Steam Deck, yeah. Well, I was completely unaware of it. I don't really know much about PC gaming. And then I opened up YouTube, was doing the daily thing, checking the sites, checking the news, and I saw it.
Let's boil this down to where I think I'm a freak. I play handheld gaming, right? I know. But for the most part, I just don't know who's going to buy a Steam Deck and use it. You suggest to me you are, and I say no.
If they're bringing out a dock for it, and also you can use any other third-party dock on the market, which is like has the right USB connection, which is pretty cool. It's a cheap alternative to a gaming PC in that regard. So you get your dock and you get the Steam Deck.
I understand what you're saying, but it's only as powerful as a PS4.
Yeah,
which is
I'd be interested to see whether the dock is just a dock and it just puts it onto the screen, or whether it's going to just amplify the resolution a little bit or anything like that in terms of technical spec. There's stuff I'd want to play on a PC, but then a mate of mine at work suggested, why don't you just get a gaming laptop?
Dude, I've known you quite a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not a C/:: kind of guy. The minute you have to go in the settings, it's not going to be.
No, I know that's what massively puts me off. I'd have to take it to someone and go, make that game work on that. Because the only one I want to play on it is Battle for Middle-earth Reforged. If that ever comes out, it's like a fan reboot. Got a lot of people involved on it.
Would that even work on Steam Deck if it's not real?
Well, yeah, it would just be like I suppose, no different to having modded games on there.
But, is the Steam Deck going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, just put a USB stick in? Oh, it's got a game on, fine, yeah, I'll play it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know a lot of the technicalities.
It's not come from the Steam store, friends, so I'm not running it. It's not safe.
I think you'd have to run it on what they call like the different launcher. So that's where all you getting all the words.
There's a man that
I literally
has
know nothing.
No idea what he's saying, but he's heard the bigger boys say it, so it sounds pretty good. Oh, I need to get a launcher on that. What for? Well, we're flicking things off of it.
In my head, it's a tiny catapult that sits on the analog stick.
That's what I was thinking. Question, though, the most important question of the news: did we miss anything? Do you have an opinion or take on the news we missed? If so, Tom, these tattoos have paid off. The cardigan you're wearing's paid off. How will the collective masses get in contact with us?
You can reach us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, which is emailing. It'd be nice to get an email. You can also visit our Instagram account and direct messages on there, or leave a comment on whatever topic George and Bobby are going to be discussing that week.
George and Bobby. And get me more than once every 6 months.
So, yeah. And there's also a Discord chat that they can join in.
I've just decided you're now like the human equivalent of a solar eclipse.
Thank you very much.
Take that as a compliment. Take everything as a compliment. Saves awkward moments later.
You mean most people have to view me through a welding mask?
I think.
Do you remember that? Back up on Famerton. Come and look at the eclipse through the welding goggles. Oh, cheers. Or when someone would be welding, it's like, don't look at that. Your eyes instantly go, what's that?
Oh, every time I blink now, I've got this white thing. I told you not to look at it. Well, I've looked at it again. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do some welding. Just look the other way.
What? Let me look at it as much as possible.
I've got my eye pressed on the actual dispenser as well. I can't say anything. Archive. I met someone who had Archive once.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No, it was terrible. Okay, don't forget the Discord. While you've been away serving time, you're now out free and easy. Maybe ought to get you signed up again. Maybe Below should offer you.
I don't do social media. I just can't.
I've been on Reddit.
I go on Reddit.
You know,
I don't even. I just search video game news and leaks, and then it brings up this forum thing. I check the news.
I tell you one thing we don't do. It's leaks, no rumours. No.
Oh, that went out of the wayside, didn't it? Everyone loves a good leak or rumour, especially when they turn out to be absolute BS. My favourite week is like lead up to E3, just reading some of the ridiculous rumours.
Well, before
the Switch Pro 2 is going to be delivered by a peregrine falcon to Miyamoto's hand.
Those rumours got out of control and they weren't anything like what actually turned up. And to be honest, we haven't talked about OLED Switch. To be fair,
Bramble.
Why would they need to change? Is anyone that's playing the Switch go, I wish the graphics were better?
It's not even making the graphics any better. It's better screen quality for those who play in.
That's what you an OLED for. Best screen you can get.
So what are you saying? Like, you don't know why they've...
A lot of people on the build-up to the OLED Switch being announced convinced themselves it was a Switch.
Oh,
Pro.
yeah. Like
it was going to be 4K out.
Yeah.
It was going to be
60 FPS.
It was going to have a load of extra horsepower underneath.
Yeah.
Why would Nintendo do that? People are currently buying the Switch quicker than they can get it in. The Switch is outside of the PS4 and the PS5. Why would they need to do anything with it? Like, they can give it a mid-gen uplift.
They like a lot of companies, are always better backed into a corner. The Wii U failed. They came out with a Switch and it was a brilliant idea, brilliant games in its first year. They're now back to arrogant Nintendo, which charges £55 for Skyward Sword port. And they're just general, like, I don't know what's going on with that. I just find there's nothing I want to play on there. I don't know. The past few years for them have been poor. Bar Animal Crossing, which was a genuine new game, very well made, obviously a big hit. I don't really see what else they've done. I'll always be a fan of Nintendo, but they're just behaviours.
Wii U games that have ultimately made it to the machine. What was that game you had that I quite like? Astral Chain.
Yeah, that was nice. It's a great
second party game, but
yeah,
it was good. There is some good things on there, but not enough for me to want to.
It'll have a nice solid library when it reaches the end of its lifespan, and I think it just feels like the last few years it's been, it's coming soon. It's coming like Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild sequel. Oh yeah, they're coming.
What do you think of the new Metroid that we've seen?
It's quite nice. It's a bit of a stopping gap because obviously they had to reboot development on Metroid Prime 4. I think Retro Studios are now at the helm of that.
It felt to me when I saw it, it felt a bit like whatever they'd been doing before. Let's say it was Breath of the Wild Metroid, as an example.
Yeah.
That wasn't working out. So then they dumped it on these other people and went, you better bring us a game. And to be honest, they've had to fall back. They've gone back to the game's roots, but that means it's a very basic, fundamental game. There were some nice bits where it kind of went 2.5D and then 3D into a cutscene and back.
It's similar to Shadow Complex, isn't it? Which was a really nice game, but you forget that was
10 years ago.
Yeah, and it was a small indie game as well.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, it's not really the big blockbuster you want for Christmas, is it?
No, and I think that probably, I mean, they'll put Dog Poo Simulator and put the Nintendo Cinema quality on and people are buying it because they want a complete Switch collection or whatever dribble they're on with. Which is fine, but I don't know.
Breath of the Wild 2 still looks very, very far away. I was impressed with what I saw. It looked quite cool that you're going into the sky. I thought you'd be going underground. Maybe you're going to do both.
Metroid deserves, though. I just don't see this.
Oh, that'll come with Metroid Prime 4.
I don't see anyone like a young kid going, I wonder what the history of Metroid is now. I mean, I do believe Super Metroid's on the Virtual Console.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Kids aren't breaking the limbs to be playing it.
No, I think they're very scared sometimes to go to the back catalogue because you have this new generation of fans who are obviously into Animal Crossing, Pokemon, like the newer Pokemon Go. It's very difficult for them. You've got all these older fans like myself who have grown up playing some Nintendo and PlayStation, Mega Drive, everything. Who, why don't they do a new Star Fox or a new Kid Icarus or new Ice Climbers? And I'm like, well, these new fans who buy the machines and who get their parents to spend money on the games won't know what it is and probably won't buy it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they went to the well and instead of coming back up with Mario every single time, came up with one of their slightly more obscure characters, because at this point it doesn't matter anymore. You could wheel out another Mario game and everyone like, if you wheeled out a game using one of your existing characters, I'm not talking Donkey Kong, I'm talking some of the real old sort of stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's good that they're trotting Metroid out, because I think that's a great brand that hasn't had anywhere near the amount of games it deserves. Splatoon
was a new IP on the Wii U, and it's done really well. It's actually done great. They've now got a third sequel on the cards for next year. They can make new IPs work, and they're very good at game design, character design, everything like that. But I think for the older fans, it's a difficult time because we probably want some more adult games, but we've got to remember Nintendo's very child-friendly company. It's a bit like the Star Wars argument, isn't it? Star Wars
so good. I've watched thousands. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Are there any games so good you've played them twice?
Oh, so slick. Yeah. As in all the way through, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. If you've not done all the side quests fair enough the second time, or maybe you didn't do them the first time, but you've seen the credits, or you've got enough of the way through it where you finished it the first time where you maybe didn't feel that was necessary.
I think the main one for me would be Ocarina of Time. Played that once, and it was one of the best games I've ever played, still is. I played it again on the 3DS because there was enough difference there and enough time passed to make it feel fresh. Nice to see some nice little details.
Not in my opinion.
No?
We got that together at launch on 3DS. Oh. That was at the time where you talked me into trading every console I had.
For 3DS?
For 3DS.
Yeah.
And Ocarina of Time. A game I'd finished a clear decade.
And I finished Majora's Mask remake on there as well.
Oh, they brought that out as well?
Yeah.
I've got a 2DS upstairs. I should see if I can get hold of a copy. Then again, why? What to do? No.
I find I
don't need any more games.
The real big open world, like Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going to revisit some of those because they've got future DLC coming out, but I don't think I would play them through again. Not all the way.
Well, this is what I've been thinking about.
There are an experience that you play and you like.
There's not loads of games I've played through more than once, but there is a few. The Uncharted series, Last of Us. Going back to my original days on the Atari ST, me and my dad, we went through F1 Grand Prix more than once. I was trying to think in the 16-bit actual home console era, what have I played through more than once? Not that many.
Streets of Rage 2, me and you must have played through it quite a few times.
Possibly. I just don't think I was probably at the right age to play them at that time. Since I think I've gone back and replayed them, but it's a bit different. Mm-hmm. But moving forward a couple of generations, I've played Halo 1, 2 and 3 through multiple times, and Gears of War.
Yeah, they're good examples because they have varying difficulty levels. I played them through with 2 or 3 different people in the co-ops, which were really enjoyable, especially if you can help them out, find like the hidden in Halo. There's the schools you can find and get the achievements cool. and things like that. Both they were really good co-op games. The sort of newer generation we're playing now, there's not many that I've gone back and have played it all the way through again.
GTA 4 is the most recent thing I've played all the way through again.
Oh, have you?
I've revisited Just as Good now.
4?
Yeah.
It's got a good vibe, hasn't it?
It's just, for me, the way classier product.
I think the story's more interesting. Like, having those 3 characters...
I think the 3 characters allow them to carve up the play styles.
Yeah.
And allow you not to... Because a lot of the criticism that 4 got, if you go and watch any retrospective of 4 especially, people talk about how it feels off to them because, Nico 1 minute's complaining about all the killing in his home city, and then the next minute he's turned around, he's slaughtered 400 people without even batting an eyelid. There's always going to be that sort of mixed narrative in a GTA game. Not the way I play it, but the way most.
I mean, GTA 5, you've got a lot of different culture and style in the 3 different characters. Like Franklin is a baller in like rap, black culture. Michael is like the white middle class dad who's had a bit of a dodgy background, ex-con, and then there's Trevor who's just like the chaos. It's nice to have those different choices, and you can probably get attached to one of those characters depending on what sort of thing you like.
What your play style is, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, Franklin has got the car driving skill as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's quite interesting, giving them all a different sort of stronger ability that they're really good at. Which I can really see what...
time, didn't he, from memory serves? For cars.
Yes.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I think one of the other characters did actually have like a weapon bullet time. But yeah, they I really respect what they tried to do there, and I think maybe it was just the story was a bit too weak. Some people probably really love it. It's just I felt 4 was a better story from start, middle, and end. It's just
agreed, and I love the opening of 4, which is why I've probably started that several times again over the years. And the way the lights work and the physics of the car. I
think it's probably the supporting characters are maybe better.
Yeah, well, we'd been to launch and got that. And I think we came back to... I don't know if you came back to mine or whether I came back and then we rang each other at 1 in the morning. But I think you'd come round and I started the game and you kind of take him back to that sleazy bed sit that we've got. So what about the mirror? This is it, cousin. You lied to me.
It's good.
Yeah, just I don't know why, but Nico, I always felt towards the end game when you start to accumulate more money and you're involved in bigger things and you're living in the Playboy house and all that. I don't know, something dulls off me at that point. I quite like the fact he's an underdog. Quite a lot of the way through it, living in dirty, squalid bed sits. And
like Del Boy when he becomes a millionaire, mate.
Exactly. He's never good at
the
that
chase.
It's the chase. I liked the chase. I felt like it suited the character living in the more squalid parts of Liberty.
It's nice to have that ending, but after that point, you don't want to carry on. As a player, I
had more money every time I finished a mission. I had enough money to go back to the ammunition and buy everything, all the grenades, all the rounds for the RPG, everything.
I think Vice City did well with the buying of the buildings and running the businesses. I think they could do a lot more with that and just have a proper end game. So you finish the main story, and if you choose to, you can just run almost like because GTA has always been borderline like life sim at times.
Well, that's when it said it's best.
Yeah. And we've said this with Red Dead before, where you go and do the jobs around the ranch. Like, it'd be nice to have that option. I mean, it's going to be limited because the game's massive already. And it's
thing is, we're way off topic here, but in Red Dead, all they needed is a simple section where you go to the market and you buy a bull and some cows. It's in Minecraft, for goodness sake. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You bring them back, you put them in the corral. Overnight, when you do sleep or whatever it is, you're away from the farm, a calf is born. So you never see it. You don't have to worry about the graphics. And then you have to feed them and do all the things. And then once you've got enough, you can go in with your horse and separate off half of them and then herd them down to the auction.
Mate, yeah.
Because the herding function was in Red Dead 2, as it was in Red Dead 1.
It was.
You use it 2 times in a separate mission each, and that's it. When you were being taught how to herd cattle in Red Dead 1, I thought, this will be teaching us classic video game thing. You get all the tutorials in the first section, don't you? I thought, this will be teaching us how we cattle rustle.
And then you couldn't.
And then we never used the function again, which I found a bit odd. It is what it is. This is certainly not games. This is certainly not listed off games so good we played them twice. I have another one, Shenmue, Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast as well. I finished one.
I think I only played Shenmue through once. Again, it just really good experiences. It's hard to go back and capture that
the
first time.
The first one to play back through feels nicer because of that. It was only a week ago that I think we had 2 weeks ago, or maybe even on the show's Discord, where I was talking to someone about how, I think it was on here, how Shenmue 2 made you feel. Shenmue 1's like a little warm comfort blanket that you can go to and put on and play through, and it's totally cool. Shenmue 2, which I finished on Dreamcast, then got on Xbox and went to play through again, but that feeling of not being comfortable because you're in Hong Kong made me not. When I first played it on the Dreamcast, I was desperate just to see what happened to it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know and we never thought we were going to get the game. And then it was out one day and, oh my goodness gracious me, I ran home and played it back to back. But when it came to the Xbox, after having already done it, I started it, and once I'd wowed by the graphics and a couple of bits and bobs, I was done. Oh no, this isn't Jobby Eater. It's not what I need. It's not. And then you didn't have that feeling of that woman, I can't remember her name, Inasan, or whatever the cleaner's name. And you just didn't have that warmth in it. It was sad but true. Just remembered one, Jet Force Gemini. I used to absolutely love that game.
I think games like that and things like Tony Hawk, the Devil May Cry games, anything that's got very addictive gameplay and isn't too long, you're way more likely to play through again. In terms of, just before we move on to the first comment, I think YouTube's killed a lot of people's replay throughs. I don't know, it's just me, but I think having the option to just go and look at a section of a game, like a cutscene. You imagine when we didn't have YouTube and stuff. If you wanted to, wish I could see that cutscene again, or replay that part of a game. You just go online now and just search that part of the game, and it's there, and you can watch it. I know you can't play it; it's not quite the same, but you're getting that nostalgic hit,
which is probably enough to scratch 99%.
Yeah. I'm very guilty of that. I looked at some of the music scenes in Death Stranding where you start walking and then the music kicks in, and they're fantastic. They're really well
chills
done.
Beyond chills. Aren't they?
But yeah. Moving on.
Okay, as always, we asked you guys your thoughts on the topic, and we've interwoven those into the feature. This isn't a feature of classic style. This is going to be one of those where we talk about what you've said and we weigh it up. First out the poster bag, it's Super Retro Gaming World. Thank you for messaging in. They seem to have replayed mostly PS1 games, they say. Resident Evil, MGS, Final Fantasy VII, usually to get the different ending stealth suits, kill emeralds, etc. Laughing till I cry emoji. Do you revisit any PS1 games, Tom?
Probably on the PS2. I'll maybe run through on the backwards compatibility.
I look at that and I know out of those three,
I've played Metal Gear Solid once again, but that was kind of GameCube remake, so it is the same game, but it's not. Did
you play Resident Evil on the PS1, or was your first time with that on the GameCube? The original?
Yes, it was on the GameCube, so I'd never played it before.
Now, I know I played it through when it launched and absolutely loved it. And then maybe 4 or 5 years later, I think I got a PS1 again and got that and was just sort of playing it through. But I don't remember whether I finished it or not the second time. Probably not. No, I get distracted very easily. Now, I don't know if he's been on while you've been on, but we've got Bada Binkster Retro Gaming.
First of all, I hope you both had a good time off. I think I speak on behalf of the whole Unofficial Controller podcast community. I've missed your both. The game that is so nice that I've played it twice. You like what I've done there? Oh, yes. It has to be Jungle Desert Soviet Strike series. I have lost count the amount of times I've played and completed them. They just remind me, sir, of a time when I used to video game with my fratello and padre, and we'd all try and complete it together. So whenever I want to reminisce, I find my copies and play them, and sucked in all over again. I was a little nervous where the sucked in comment was going to go, but it was safe. Here's an Italian. Everybody stand for the national anthem. He's forgotten his own line. Everybody sit down, sir. Trophy emoji. Everyone is a winner, sir. Winking with my tongue out emojis, sir. Green and red heart, sir. Yes, sir. So,
I'm still sore about the football.
Oh, God. What do you think about Jungle Desert and Soviet Strike? You played Soviet Strike. It's one game.
I don't know where I
It's
did.
on Saturn as well, actually.
I played Desert and Jungle, but not Soviet.
He's missed off Urban. He's missed off Urban.
Strike.
That's the Mega Drive trilogy. Soviet Strike and Nuclear Strike.
They were. I played Desert Strike a lot with my mate because his dad was in the RAF. He flew tornadoes, and he was big into the Gulf War. If you can call that being big into the Gulf War.
He was a pressed serviceman. He was big into it. Every minute of it. Did he get a choice? No, not really.
No, I think it's more like he was just, I suppose, proud of his dad. Like,
the kid was big into it.
Yeah. The dad wasn't there, like coming back after flying over in his tornado and then giving it a go on Desert Strike as well. Couldn't get enough of it.
That's like the home meal you can eat fish episode.
Yeah, but no, it was a cool game.
To be honest, it still stands up. I think Desert Strike was the original. I think that's the one that most people remember.
It is about the Gulf War, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well,
so yeah, loosely
based around the idea that there's sort of similar states out there.
Yes.
Similar things.
Yeah.
But, Desert Strike, I thought was brilliant, but it was also a game of a time where the first level was probably all a lot of kids saw.
Oh yeah,
and you could turn the console off, turn it back on again. You were back onto level one. There was enough fun stuff to do, keep a kid happy without ever troubling the game.
It felt like it was the first level was just massive. It was like
it did feel like that was all of the game.
Yeah, I was amazed. I couldn't even tell you whether it progresses, whether there's any night cycle, or
I don't remember
whether the actual picture. Sorry, not the picture, but like the setting changes a little bit, or it does. Oh, I might have to YouTube that later as well.
Oh no! Okay. Well, at least
it's not on the Mini Mega Drive, is it? Sadly,
probably not.
No, I don't think it is
on the Mini SNES either. No. Even though it was on there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. See, a lot of the mini consoles,
I owned a copy of it on SNES. This is where Bada Binkster's like, I'm sorry, George, I don't know what Arthur says. They did. They had to.
Who we got next?
Johan _Trash Tapes. You know, the immortal legend that is the ever-living part of the three-way dance. Must say congratulations to Greg as well, because he's had some nice information about a new job within the games industry. I don't think he'll be upset with me saying that. So,
potential
everybody. I think we might be lucky to get a serviette with his name on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't forget, we are the lowest form of.
Dastardly Darren does a fine business card if he's interested.
Oh, okay, we'll get him some business cards. Maybe that's our sort of job warming treat.
Yeah.
Some individual god business cards on a thick one boss with the raised gold. Anyway, we all know who Johan is by now, and he says the Uncharted series for me, a man of very high quality taste. It's my pure comfort game series. Every so often when I feel low, I play through the series from beginning to end. While I know the story inside and out to the point that I can recite full lines, it's like going back and watching a good action movie where you still get excited by the set pieces and drama. It's an experience that is always fun, engaging, and cheers me up always. Must have played the whole series around 10 times now. Ha ha. Agreed. I just find that game incredibly fun to play. Once you've been through on one of the lower difficult, like medium or hard or whatever, then you can always go through and start knocking off other things. I mean, Uncharted's a series that I just find incredibly easy to play. I've even played the Vita one through 2 or 3 times. I think it's just great. I don't know what it is about it. It's not 10 out of 10 in every respect, in every single way, but it's probably the sum of its parts. Is what you never played it.
I played them through.
Test, but then I said you should play these.
When I got the PlayStation.
1's a bit tough, although 1's probably the one I've played the most.
1 feels very old now. 2 was just starting to I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty impressive, and I can see why people really like that especially when it first came out. I'd been pretty mind blown with the set pieces. 3 was good, and then 4 blew me away because I was like, wow, the leap was very, very big.
Have you played Lost Legacy?
No, I keep waiting because it keeps getting rumoured for a PS Plus game, which I think it will be.
Yeah, I'm buying it up.
Yeah, you'd have thought it would have done by now, wouldn't you? Really, but it might even come to the that list on the PS5 they've got where you can.
Surprising, it's not on there.
I'm surprised they've not. I think after a year, they might update that with probably 5 more games. I'm just guessing rumours.
Okay, but you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, really good.
Have you got the collection still?
It will be. I downloaded them because they were on the store for sale.
Oh,
because I remember messaging you saying, "Oh, shall I get these?" And you're like, "Yes, definitely."
Yeah. Every time I sit down, I think we can do the trilogy.
It's a shame because I ain't got Uncharted 4 on because I got the only actual physical games I own anymore are PS4, which I've got quite a nice collection of.
You have for you. You've actually got
for
some
me.
games.
But sadly, I haven't got Uncharted 4 in there. Which would have been good. But maybe in the years to come, I'll go car booting and get a big, expand the collection.
PS4 is really just starting to creep into car boots now.
Yeah. It's the games like I was talking to you about, like Hades. I think it's getting a physical release. It's those ones you really want to keep an eye out for, I reckon, for buying for the future.
This is the Elliot section of the show. He's one of the people on the Discord that collects sealed games. This is where he's going to get his top tips.
Yes.
Up next, the embodiment of the Irish beef industry, C. Pliskin, has been waiting long to hear from again. He says I always trip on his words, but I'll read out verbatim. Been waiting long to hear from again, have you? I think that's you this time, C. Pliskin, but I'll take the blame for it. In fact, that really gets me thinking, what took you so long? Either way, now that I think about it, he says, I actually believe I play games over twice more than I realise. See, we ask these questions, motivate C. Pliskin's grey matter. I think it's partly because I might get my money's worth if I go through a game a second time, unless I've beaten it. Just recently, or with something like an arcade games with like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid or just the original Injustice by learning different combos with my preferred cast.
Oh, that's an underrated game.
That I wouldn't have known or tested previously. But in terms of one game that could embody replayability greatly in more ways than one, it'd have to be Marvel's Spider-Man. There's a game that I've played through more than once.
Yes.
I platinumed a minute and then I played it at my girlfriend's and I started playing it again here.
Oh, the PS5 version.
Yeah. And I'm just happy playing through. I don't want to, because you can import your save from your PS4 version, download it, get an instant platinum. But it's too fun for that. It's a nice one. And I tell you another one that sorry, Simplicity. Astrobot. Even though I've done that, I keep going back to it and going through the levels just because it's
I think it also has that launch day nostalgia as well. Like, I think I got Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales came through the post because it's a bit late again there. I got Demon's Souls and Astrobot came with the console, and I just love playing those. Like I'll boot them up now. Still got them both on the hard drive, like ready to play. And yeah, they Astrobot's really good. I'd love to see. I have the only game I've ever platinumed.
That's how good it is. I say that to people. I think everyone's platinumed it. It must be the most platinum game. But to be honest with you,
even the two friends I've got to play online with, they played that because they didn't have much else to play at launch. They didn't get any of the physical games, and they got the digital console. So they downloaded a few of the free PS Plus games and that, and they were like, "This is really good." I was like, "Yeah."
Have they had a good experience
With the console?
I presume they're new to the machine, are they? Did they have Xboxes or before?
One came from PC, and the other had probably a 360.
Oh, right. Okay.
Or an original Xbox, maybe. Not original Xbox, the Xbox One. But yeah, love it. One has had a broken trigger on the controller, but I think that's a relatively easy fix. And he's also got one of the new black ones, so he's not too fussed. But yeah, really like it. Yeah,
unofficial controller now, isn't it? You can give the white one to his small sibling.
I think they enjoy like the free games they get every month, which is still a really big plus for people.
I think we've all turned into gluttonous content pigs. And to be honest,
you are right.
$49.99, $59.99. Well, there's one for PS4, there's one for PS5 game. It's 3 games, and Xbox Gold's the same. I've been encouraging the work experience boy to download the games for gold because he's got his games pass.
Yeah,
he's happy with that. And he dips in and out all these games. But when the games for gold, he's actually the one you need to pay attention to because add to library, they're your actual games.
Yeah,
regardless of what happens with this system, these are yours. So I see that as a real nice way of him building up a library because he's got the Series S, no disc tray. So you are reliant on what they push down the pipe.
Yeah. So to have a digital collection is nice. And we're seeing that with, sorry to go back to the Steam Deck, but if you can bring your Steam collection onto that machine, I wouldn't be bringing anything because I haven't got one. But it's me and you discussed like physical and digital, and we've had a show about it. It's scary to think like we might not have physical collection or a machine that will play physical disc one day. So it is important for people to build like a physical library of games. Your biggest problem now is storage. Like the more you put on the console, the less room you've got, and you're constantly in that battle of like, oh, I really want to play that. Oh, I haven't got it downloaded. As internet speeds get better and everything like that, it's going to be easier just to, I don't know, half an hour, you're up and running. But
yeah, that's
it's almost like we regress to loading up the old games on a really old machine. I mean, I'm this is almost before my time, but first console I took cassettes. I presume it was a Spectrum or something. I was that young, I don't even remember, but just remember it was load. It's almost a little bit like that now because I go to my shelf, get this, put it in, it's like, oh, I haven't got that downloaded. Oh, I'll leave it on overnight and then I can play it tomorrow. But then almost the urge to play that game is probably gone. I'm like, oh, I want to play something different now.
Anyway, back to Steve Biskin's comment. Back in 2018, side note to this, but I'm confused how I should refer to it as. Insomniac Spider-Man PS4. They had to know there would be an issue at some point in time or another, right? Well, that's a solid point there. Either way, I still remember the day when the titles were officially revealed, back when I heard rumours that a similar title was being developed to subsequent productions. And I can't tell you how excited I was in that moment to learn that my childhood favourite studio was also working on my childhood hero with an original take on the character. But while it can be argued that the title does have anything as distinct at a glance from every other open world styled game, I think what ultimately saves it was how it was wrapped together with fantastic traversal system and really well written and acted story that can be used as a living blueprint to creating an enjoyable cast and world around them. I may have only beaten it twice since it released, but honestly, I don't think I need to play for any longer than I prefer because of just how great it is. Somewhat uninspired, but still brilliantly executed game. With more than anything, I'm just glad that Insomniac Games finally got the credit they rightfully deserve for 30 years of business. Now, though, I'm just waiting for the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding so I can revisit those games on my PS5, and I'm more than relieved as well that I can pay a small fee to upgrade them rather than an entirely new game. That would have been infuriating to say the least. Actually, now I think about it, I must have finished Spider-Man twice originally because that's the new Game Plus mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember now whether I did Miles twice or not. I think it had a new Game Plus mode.
I think you did because you did it with Work Experience Boy.
I know, but I don't know if we did it twice.
Ah,
Whereas the original game required you to play it twice.
yes, to get all the
I don't
growth.
notice, I can't remember if Miles did or not. I think
Yeah, very underrated company for a while, and obviously nice to see them come good with Ratchet and Spider-Man.
I'll tell you what.
Years and
I bet Sony were like, oh, Godfrey's on there. Why? Well, with us, it would have no games.
it's true. You've had third party
games.
Resi Village, which is on old gen as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or
it's on a shift. They went off and redid all the assets for the original Spider-Man to make that a PS5 game. Rework the assets in the League, rework the assets in the city, blah blah, ray tracing, the whole bag of tricks. So that's not a new game, but let's just for a moment pretend that
it's a remaster.
It's a remaster in a very short space of time. They cranked out Miles.
Yeah.
They cranked out Ratchet and Crank. Right? So they've cranked out 3 games that have been very successful, very well received. We'll say the remaster's kind of smudged in a bit because it kind of came with Miles.
Within the last 3 years?
Or within, how many other companies, and that's why probably Sony are sending them a magnum of champagne, because we need a launch game. Here's Miles. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that's actually all right. But we're going to need something in the window. And everyone else is sat on their hands at PlayStation Studios like, no. And then someone that goes, do you know what? Yeah, we'll do a Ratchet and Clank game. What the?
You can see why PlayStation got it out there early, that they might be focusing on some shorter games as well. Because obviously Miles Morales is quite... I don't think that... It makes me sad, obviously, the price
Miles
is high.
was short compared to its predecessor, but I actually preferred the runtime of Miles.
Yeah.
Spider-Man felt like a month in his life, whereas Miles felt like a day.
Yeah.
And for that reason, it felt more... I don't know what it was about.
I think it worked for both stories.
The uplift of graphics, I bought into Miles' family way more. Like that, you can almost see a twinkle in their eye as they enjoy speaking to each other.
Yeah.
In that family meal, like, that was believable.
Mm. Yeah, and some of the later scenes with his friend, and
they were strong.
Yeah,
they were
very well done.
Oh, next name you'll recognise. There's a lot of names in here that you probably won't know, but we'll go with it. It's Finster Gamer. Safe little zone for you. He's been with us from the very beginning.
Yeah.
This is the wonderful Finster Gamer. I'm not saying that there's right or wrong way to enjoy something, because everybody experiences things differently. But for me, I can't imagine finding something that I love and then just moving on to the next thing. Whether it's games, movies, food, when I find something that I really enjoy, I want to continue enjoying it as much as I can. I often try out new games, play them through once, but generally I have a rotation of games that I love to go back and play regularly, such as Red Dead. Collectively, I've played Resident Evil 1 to 3 on the last generation 30 to 40 times, as I know that I'm going to love playing them. Why not spend my time doing something that I'm 100% sure I will enjoy? Now, that's an interesting take. That's completely against how you play and ingest and digest media.
Mm.
And there isn't a right or wrong way for you to enjoy it.
No, absolutely.
But Finster's gone and he's played through his Resident Evil 1 to 3 30 to 40 times.
Yeah.
What stops you, per se, revisiting a game?
Hungry for the new and shiny. I'm a sucker for just being sold anything that is.
You are.
Like, as soon as a new title is on the horizon, I'll have those few months where I'm like, I might revisit that. But as I was saying with the YouTube thing, I'm like, I can just have a look at that because I love that moment in that game. I'm just looking at that. But online games, obviously, I go back to, because the idea of them is they're a multiplayer game and you play them over and over and over again. But the single player is very different for me. I just like to digest it, play it, experience it, and then, it will stay with me for weeks if it's really good as well. And I'll be thinking, oh, that was amazing, and I love that bit where that happens. And I hope they make a sequel, or I wish that had happened, or. But yeah, I find it very difficult to go through them again. But that is personal choice and fair play. If you get a lot of enjoyment out of playing something, then why not?
Well, we've got some short but sweet comments coming up, so we'll just rattle through those. C3S Gaming, who I believe is a new listener, so they get their clap. Is it new listener? They said Conker's Bad Fur Day so many times over the past 2 decades. So there's a game that perhaps Conker's Bad Fur Day. Don't forget, on the Discord now, we have a gameplay along. There's a vote, so you can all pick a game that you've got in your library. You can then have a vote about which one it is you're going to play through, and then the whole of the unofficial controller community, including me, if I've got the game, I play it through as well. We have a wonderful experience. We'll talk on there about what we've seen, what we found. It's not new stuff. It's old. There's been PS2 games, or there's been a Tomb Raider Anniversary was one of the titles. That was on PSP, which is where I played it. It was on Xbox 360. It was on PS3. It was on PC. That game was everywhere. It was on a hot point fridge, as we say. And this time it's Conker's Bad Fur Day, chosen because it's available on original Xbox. It'll work on 360 through Back and Pat, and it's on the Rare Replay, and it's on Games Pass. Really, probably no excuse. I thought I had it in the library, I don't. So there's my excuse.
Was it an N64 game?
Originally an N64 game. Then it got Live and Reloaded, the remastered version for Xbox, and then I think it was on it got some sort of Back and Pat boost, and also it was on the Rare Replay. Anyway, cut a long story short, he chose Conker's Bad Fur Day, a nice rare classic. Fair play to you. Retro Sega Aryan. Now, forgive me, I do believe you've had a clap. They've said Shenmue is certainly a game I've played through a number of times, as is Shining Force. Shenmue being the slightly easier of the two to play through, I'd say there. Mike JMSB says, you a new listener? Have a clap. New listener. But Retro Sega Aryan, why not? New listener. Anyway, Mike JMSB says he's beat Mario 64 over 40 times. And Chrono Trigger around 30 to 40. I did reach out to this gentleman and say, that is dedication. I don't know why I'm giving new listeners. They've probably already had them. The Barbaroo Games, the man who's been with us since episode 2, whenever it is we first did comments on the show. Could have done it on the first episode, that's for sure. He said, I've made it a tradition to complete Persona 4 Golden at least once a year ever since I first played the game back in 2012. Respect. Absolutely fell in love with the game thanks to its amazing story and gameplay. Smiling with teeth gritted emoji. I think I'm on my 10th playthrough. Currently, it's amazing just how many different ways one can play through that game. It is one amazing game. I set myself a New Year's resolution to finish Persona 5. Mm-hmm. Like all New Year's resolutions, it lasted into the second week of January. But I intend to revisit it. The Gaming Gram, deeply entrenched in the community. Thank you for that. Here's a man. I've completed GTA 5 3 times. Once on PS3, once on PS4, once on PC. The thing is, I've never been blown away by the story. I believe... Find my way. I believe GTA 4 is a much better story, but I guess my reason for playing through it 3 times is due to the fact that I've had it on these platforms. May as well complete the story on them. In terms of games that I've actually enjoyed, Spider-Man and the Crash Bandicoot, both on PS1, would be my picks. I put it down to the fact that they're not lengthy games. I'm actually good at them. The gameplay for both is very enjoyable.
I think gameplay is the trump card, really, for multiple playthroughs.
That's the reason why I go back to Astrobot.
And Spider-Man, as you say, is a very nice traversal system. The fighting gameplay, while it can get repetitive, is good. It's enjoyable.
It can get repetitive, but I never find myself thinking, "Oh, this is repetitive." The thought process in my mind when I'm doing it is like, "Oh God, I need to land. I don't want to use his combo dodge."
I agree with some people as well, saying it's value for money. If you spent 50, even now up to £70 on a game, you want to get some mileage out of it. So it's nice if it offers a new game plus or the incentive to play through it again.
Gotham City streets are safe because look, it's Batmall.
Love it. That is
basically any single player RPG I've ever played. He says I've played probably more than once. Things like Skyrim or Fallout can have different stormifications depending on which faction you side with. I want to do a Paragon and a Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect, plus any of the Souls games so I can get all the achievements in them, but also beating a boss in those games enough times you can do it without getting hit. There's a good feeling after getting repeatedly destroyed when you play through them.
That's a good point.
I can't imagine getting myself in a position where I don't get hit by a boss once. I don't care.
Oh, mate, I've done Returnal. I played the first boss again, and it was so nice. It was destroyed. Sekiro as well.
Here's a man who will always be a new listener. Tom's out of practice with the question. It's fine. It's good to have me. Good to see you guys back. I've missed your voices and that rare opportunity to hear Bobby say coffee with his American accent. Sadly, Tom's an actor, so maybe you could do a New York accent for us.
Hey, I'm walking here.
I don't know why he's crossing the road in Wales, listeners, but he is. Coffee in a New York accent is one of my favourite sounds. Anyway, back to the topic. I don't really... Where were you? I'm walking here from North Yorkshire. I don't replay many games, much as it's rare for me to reread a book. But I've said many times that I completely as a man who loves Monkey Island. The first 2 Monkey Island games, every year, they carry so many happy memories for me, and yet I still feel a sense of accomplishment in solving some of the puzzles. Day of the Tentacle is becoming a regular replay too. These are all, by modern standards, pretty quick games to finish if you know what you're doing. Biggest game I've replayed is GTA 5, which I completed on Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PS4, doing a worst ending on each. I'm not sure I'll pick it up again with its next release. It does allow me to repeat something I said in the Discord today, which I pinched from a meme. The PS2 had 3 main GTA games. The GTA 5 will soon be on its 3rd PlayStation. Sad.
That is... I
don't think we're going to get... What were the Hooser brothers splitting up? I don't think we're going to get from Rockstar anything. I mean, they're normally way ahead of the curve. So producing an online, persistent GTA world based in Vice City, which is the fans' favourite, give them what they want, and it's about an evolving map and series and packs. Basically, Fortnite business model for a persistent online Grand Theft Auto game.
Will they do that?
That's
I don't
apparently
know.
What they're doing.
Yeah, I have heard that rumour. I don't know, after the success of... I suppose they look at Red Dead and think, well, that's come out, it did amazing sales, great, well done, but it's ended now. Whereas GTA 5 has continued to make money. So which they're going to go for?
In the top 10. God knows how much people are spending on those.
I think I do feel sad for everybody as gamers that we haven't had another GTA since 5. It is getting on for... So it came out towards the end of the 360 PS3. Played it on there. I got the upgraded one for the PS4. I got it on Xbox One. And then I will probably get the expanded and enhanced, depending on what it looks like. You laugh, but you will get it if it looks good.
Maybe. Mr. Mystery. He's a loyal supporter of the show. Says it takes quite a lot to get me to replay any game, but there are occasions. Played through all 3 Bioshocks twice, and recently we're back through Primal, PS2. Well done, Mr. Mystery. What a solid game. As I remember, the story was awesome. I hope it's aged well. He's still a looker. Where am I from? Darksiders is my poison, though. Lost count of how many times I've been through them and never get bored, apart from Genesis, which was an abomination. Finding it hard to replay anything from recent times, though, as I'm finding that gaming quality is dropping generally. Take it easy. Here's a man whose wife's birthday it is. Boba Loba. The original Gears of War trilogy, I played through the whole lot solo, then played them again through with Toxis. To this day, it's my favourite series, and Gears 3 is the only video game to make me shed a tear twice. So good in crying twice. Wow. Gears of War. Loved it. Definitely played through the first game more than once.
Yeah,
played the trilogy.
Earlier,
that was enough for me.
Really good.
Comic Picture 79. He says, I personally don't often do that. I don't really do it with books or movies either. The initial impact when it stays with you is usually enough. Obviously, there are plenty of examples when I have done it. Recently played Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is the whole trilogy, as you know. Quite an impressive package, all things considered, but it was seriously lacking the gravitas the first time around the merry-go-round.
I'm worried about playing that again because it is a phenomenal trilogy. I love it, and I think it was the ending of the third one is harshly criticised.
I'm a weirdo because I like the first one best. But what I would say is, I recently played that through on original hardware, and I say it recently, wasn't it? But I loved it, and I knew it looked wonky, and I knew it was a bit broken.
It just nailed its own sci-fi world vibe. You were like playing this, and you're like, this feels like a series that has always been around, and
this gravitas that Adam mentioned. I guess any time you do something the second time round, that might not be as much because, especially when Mass Effect launched, it was a new game. It looked good. It was doing interesting things. It felt bigger than it was, although it wasn't.
I'm in his camp rather than the Finster Gamer camp. Saying nothing wrong there's nothing wrong with either of them. Those viewpoints, but I like to have the epic moments, and that's enough. I played through that, and it would be as much as I want to play Mass Effect Legendary Edition because it looks great, and it'd be good to maybe choose different options through the story.
Here's another game that killed me. As we talk about Mass Effect Andromeda.
Is it
I was
good?
really liking, but it really started to kick my wits out of gaming. Yeah, it was like this game's big, and I'm not even scratching the surface of it. It's an awful lot to do, but I'm going to finish this game.
That's what you need to know. Just take a break.
I just sacked it off. Sadly, I need to go back to it because I want to analyse. I mean, I'm walking proof that it just didn't grab me yet. I played the PS3 version on original hardware, and it's not the best example because it's far better on 360. But I still loved every single minute of it. That says probably quite a lot about.
Yeah,
and I wasn't looking forward to forcing myself through it. It was like,
yeah, that's never enjoyable, is it?
No. Ghost of Gamer Pass got in touch. They said Oregon Trail, classic Western simulator. I died both times from syphilis. Ginger's Gamer has got in touch. I only tend to replay games as if there's trophies up for grabs because I am an unnerving and crippling platinum addiction. However, I've replayed God of War 2018 4 times now. The story never changes. There's no alternative endings or anything, but my God, is it a masterpiece. The story, the graphics, the gameplay blow me away every single time, as if I'm taking the journey for the first time. P.S. I've missed you both so much, Hearty.
Thank you. I don't think he means
No, I don't even think he knows who you are.
Oh, mate.
So the next generation, it's like meeting Kirk, and they're like, who's this guy? I'm a Jean-Luc Picard kind of guy. Jean-Luc Bobby kind of
I'm a Hogan in the Austin era, aren't I? Really?
You are Hogan in the Austin era.
Still trying to be relevant with outlandish comments.
Joe Woodward 5871. I think he's a new listener. Apologies, I've got it wrong. Anyway, I've had a couple of weeks off. Right mistake. Undertale is short, sweet, and built specifically for multiple playthroughs. Even after so many times, it's still able to make me cry at times, and it's my favourite game of all time. So I've played it through many times now. And we'll keep doing so since it only takes about 4 hours.
The roguelite, I just thought, makes this argument or discussion irrelevant, doesn't it? Because you have to play the same game through a lot of the time.
True.
To reach the end.
Reach completion, though.
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. Touché.
Oh, hey, Mike K. I believe he's a new listener.
See, you bring me in, brings them all these new listeners.
I know. They didn't even know you were going to be on as well. So next week is going to be absolutely stacked. Mike K. He says, I replay Hotline Miami on the regular at least twice a year. Something about the tight controls, ease of pickup gameplay, and absolute greatest of all time soundtrack, making it irresistible every time. It's a bit resogun, that game. You want to have another go. Have you played it? Hotline Miami.
You've talked to me about it.
You need it. Up next, put Pac-Man World 2 on the Switch. Namco is a new listener. One would imagine they've got a vested interest. I don't know what, but something. Namco, if you're listening, obviously you are. They've replayed the Denver Men 1, 2, and 3, Spat on Me Own Spitguard, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Pac-Man Arrangements, and Rabbit Go Home.
Tropical Freeze is a great game.
Have you played that more than once? Was that
Probably.
the first one? Or the second
It's the second one on the Wii U.
What's the first one called?
Just Returns.
Yes,
yeah,
that's it. Yeah, that was my launch game for my Wii U, wasn't it?
Yes, and it also got a release on the 3DS.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Wii version.
Yeah. I think they spruced it up a bit. It looked really good.
Dan Turner photo. Last comment. Save the best till last. He's a new listener. I've even forgotten the clap, to be honest. It's a good job you came back. Me and Bobby turned into something new. Listener.
I've always got the clap, mate.
You always spill some TCP in your crotch area, sort it right out for you. As someone who up until recently rarely completed any single player storyline, the impact Bioshock Infinite and its DLC had on me was huge. I played it multiple times since. Something about the story and the alternate realities really struck a chord with me at the time. I also found the sound design of that game, and I suppose the whole series, just fantastic. I love the more obvious things like the twists on the modern music and the soundtrack as a whole, but the more subtle things like the metallic clink and reverb of new objective pop-up, ticking of the skyline hook, or the deep brassy bass.
The bass alarm.
Oh no! Alarm sound when you get to the top of the lighthouse was just so satisfying. I really should set some of these notification tones.
Bioshock 1 was pretty special when I first played that.
That's the game I've played through.
I enjoyed 2 and 3 as well. Well, Infinite as well.
Played through the first one a couple of times, and then the other two. Maybe not the second one. I think 2 is the best game. It might not be the best story, but it's definitely the best game.
Yeah. Agreed.
So you've heard all that. Some absolutely cracking thoughts. And
I think there's some really good comments there. Thank you very much.
Really awesome games that have been highlighted. So we thank everyone, as always, for commenting on the topics. Next week, we'll let you know what that is through the medium of the social media. So either on Twitter or Instagram, feel free to follow us. Keep your eye out if you're hearing this, because you've had your comment read out and it's your first time listening to the show. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to us. It really does. Every single week, unless we take a holiday, free content. You don't get any better than that. Look at your iPhone. It says screen time usage is up in it. All right? Get rid of your iPhone. You don't need it. I mean, why are you going to listen to the show?
Radio
Famerton. You're through to the official controller midnight hour. Maybe that's what it is from now on. We're in the midnight slot of Famerton Radio.
It would basically just be Partridge, wouldn't it?
This,
Partridge.
Just what you've got. Perfection personified. Now, Bobby's taking a rest because seemingly coming up with names for games and blurbs for the back of the box caused him to have an end of it. It's fine.
The pressure's on me now, man.
You invented this section.
I know.
You popped back on, you messed up the format, and you skipped out the door. Now the pressure's on. You're absolutely right, it is. Quite rightly so. What's he been up to this week? Let's get the brain matter going. This is like a stretch before PE.
Well, he's returned to Famerton, hasn't he? His old stomping ground. He's been to a few old haunts where he'd visit with Wayne out the pitching up, out the boot, tent up, get selling, police come, he's out of there.
Okay, well, guess what?
There is actually a street in Famerton called Hooky Street.
Is there?
There is. More
Perfect.
law.
It's he tears up the drive. I don't know what he's doing anymore. He's reversing up the drive because he can get away quicker. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's Boot What's Nestled because the outfit happened with dodgy copy powder. These are the new release highlights from the week January 12th to July 18th, 2021. Listeners, these are out in digital physical will be. Could be region dependent.
springs, wow, boot popped, here he is, Lambert hanging, staring at you. He wants to know what out of all this plastic wrap silicon tap you want to get out first. Let me pull it out. It's curved space. Now, do you want the readout? You want the readout? I'll do the readout, and then you hit me, show me the size of your brain.
Okay. You just want a breakdown of what the game is, then?
But in a comedy way. You know, you invented this. I don't need to explain your own invention to you. Curved Space on the Switch, July 13th. Curved Space is an intense arcade-style twin-stick shooter that takes the classic formula and plunges it into the weirdest reaches of space. Battle cosmic space-invading spiders across curved landscapes where bullets hug the terrain while the horizon drops slightly outside. That sounds like an inter-screen resogun.
Labo kit resogun with the VR Labo goggles. Cardboard galore.
Oh, last time you were on, you would have said something like carve up space in this awesome twin-stick shooter. Curved Space coming Switch, July 13th. And now you're...
That's just the correct readout.
No, it's not. It's a variation on it.
Oh, you want that, do you?
Well, I don't know. Surprise me.
I thought my job was just to ridicule the games.
But last time in your effort to ridicule, you also bestowed on great prestige. Outside of Afterlife, PC, Stingray has not got the patience for this. He's already stuck his cigarette out of my hand. Outside of Afterlife on PC. I only put my hand there because he was going to stub it out on Wayne's Head again. Wayne's Head looks like the back road out of Famerton. Outside. Outside or Afterlife's coming out on the PCs. Do you know, this is a very fast and loose episode. This is classic Series 1 stuff. July 13th, Outside Afterlife is a nostalgic puzzle adventure that takes you on a galactic journey with Houdini, an android who may be the only one who can prevent the end of the universe.
Fake detective game with robot. That sounds like a wizard.
Okay, that's what we've got him here for. This is what deceitful Baron has earned all the big bucks for. Where the Heart Leads, PS5, PS4, July 13th, adapted from the best-selling children's book series Pierre the Maze Detective. So best-selling. I've never heard of it. Play as Pierre in his adventure-stroke puzzle game and recover the stolen maze stone. Journey through breathtakingly hand-drawn illustrations, meet eccentric characters, solve puzzles, save Opera City.
French. Need I say more?
Do you know what I'd say about that? Sounds an awful lot like Famerton Simulator.
It does.
Skydome. Choose a champion and sharpen your skills to win tower defense battles full of over action. Powerful heroes with unique skills and towers mean thousands of combinations of 4 versus 4 matches packed with deadly mazes, relentless minions, and merciless monsters.
Mad MOBA Beyond Thunderdome.
Gather under the biggest dome ever assembled and watch as you and your friends beat through thousands of combinations of relentless minions and merciless. Space Punks. PC, July 14th. Space Punks is a living, evolving online co-op action game RPG space romp that will see you shooting and looting your way across the galaxy.
Sci-fi, cyberpunk, trash.
Honestly, I think this is not your fine. I want to do the readout my special way. Fine.
I'll have to revisit that because I don't know what you need. And
what episode? Pick up some put down, skip to the end, tell me what. I've never got it wrong. Anyway, Ragnarok on the VR, PC VR, July 15th. Lead your Viking ship to victory in this VR rhythm game. Pound your drums to the sound of epic music from Celtic rock to Viking power metal. And set sail against your rivals in a multiplayer mode. Will you outrace them all and carve your name on the top of the leaderboard?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla Killer.
That was me doing a throat chop, which doesn't work on the audio format of the show. But that's why I have to say it. Visually describe what you're doing with your throat chop. That's my thumb halfway across my throat. That's complete. There you go. Anyone who's seen them take a performance choke slam, or more appropriately, the tombstone pile driver, will be aware of the throat chop. Space Jam.
a legacy of the game. Did that need a remake? One question. I don't think it actually did. They're really plumbing the what sold in the 90s was Space Jam did okay. Do a remake, goddammit. That's bankable. How much is the original? Great, we'll make half that money. Comes out on PC and Xbox July 15th. Players LeBron, Bugs, and Lolly Bunny in a Space Jam A New Legacy. The game, classic arcade style side.
Looney Tune characters take an LSD trip and shoot some hoops.
Wow. Okay. So the basketball players, sober as a judge. The actual freaky looking cartoon characters, they've took LSD.
Yeah.
And they're playing basketball. And they've hallucinated the aliens and the human basketball players.
Yeah.
So we're a figment of a Looney Tunes LSD hallucination.
That's what life is. Brian Cox, eat your heart out.
He just had to resign, didn't he?
He did.
Train Life, PC, July 15th. One of Train Life, a railway simulator's greatest advantages are realistic world and user-friendly driving. Furthermore, the game will be the first big train simulator in which management of rolling stock is available. Players will be recruiting drivers, buying locomotives, and getting logistics contracts from all over Europe. Sounds like I'm at work. Currently, we are working on the game's advertisement materials. Why have they put that in their blurb? Don't even comment. Train Life, dead on arrival.
Sponsored by Hornby.
15 cc's of adrenaline. Right, F1 2021, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Probably also available on my kettle after all that. July 16th, every story has a beginning. F1 2021, the official video game of the 2021 FIA Formula One World Championship. Enjoy the stunning new features of F1 2021, including the thrilling story, experience, breaking point, two-player career, and get even closer to the grid with real season start.
Actually sounds good.
They've had that franchise for a long time. Now they're part of EA. Is this the last best F1 game they ever made? F1 2022.
Could be.
Comes with the Haas team. Cost you $89.99 for the Ultimate Team to download Mercedes. Or get the Red Bull edition for another $150. Comes with a vial of Verstappen spit or something. Unbelievable.
Piece of crash wreckage.
We ain't done a mummy. You've thrown the cat among the pigeons.
Well, mine's the next one.
Is it? After everything it is. Right, okay, well, mine's Space Books. That genuinely looked like a The next game, Tom's Mummy. The Legend of Zelda. He slates Nintendo all the way through. It says about people buying their stuff like dirty little shills every time. Then he picks this as his Mummy. The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD on the Switch, July 16th. Picked in the earliest tale in the Legend of Zelda timeline. You may think you're a fan, but unless you finish Skyward Sword, you don't. That was me. That's a throat chop again for the audio show. You wouldn't know where I've gone to at this point. A young knight must journey between the endless sky and mythical surface below in search of his childhood friend Zelda. As their destiny unfolds, a wicked plan to resurrect an ancient evil force is set in motion, orchestrated by a mysterious demon lord.
A game with an art style as good as a Year 7's art project.
The Year 7 is pretty good.
That's what he thinks.
That's what
his parents tell him.
Have you seen
His
what it looks
parents
like
walk
on
in.
Switch?
Mediocre.
Fine. You can't say that anymore without doing the whole pulling up level with my window, looking at me twice, and then saying mediocre. That's the only way I'm going to let you say that. Mediocre. Restless Night, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, July 16th. You have to take up arms, win back your place among the living, or rather bullets and accuracy. In fact, everything is not simple, so you need to keep your eyes open because you need to fight with the monsters of the afterlife from all points of the earth that want to take your place.
Yet another zombie game.
Stack Up or Dive Trying, PC, July 16th. This is the sort of stuff we'll be playing on your Steam thing. This is all capable of running.
I'm a Steam pack of cards.
Stack Up or Dive Trying is your stack your way up platform. The objective is simple. Get as high as you can. Avoid contact with water at all costs. Be swift with your movements and build yourself a makeshift staircase.
Is this a 50 Cent game?
No, it's talking about ascending in the air. They're not talking about what you're talking about, and they're certainly not talking about what you thought.
Or die trying.
Or dive trying.
Or dive trying.
Yeah.
Oh, play on words. Very clever.
I wish next time you come do an episode, you best bring your glasses. Within the Blade, you don't even have any glasses.
I know, I haven't got
Yet
my
you are
sunglasses on.
blinder than Mr. McGee.
I need me prescription sunglasses on.
Within the Blade, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch July 16th. If you're listening, Bobby, this is your mummy, a bloody stealth platformer about the ninja, in which you cut up enemies into pieces.
Samurai. Sun.
We aren't ever doing that again. It's what's called a mitigated failure. You set yourself up for a...
I need to re-listen to what I did last time.
You need to re-listen to the show. You didn't even know that news was coming up. And then you were very surprised when the feature happened. And I'll never forget the look in your eye when Stingray told you to drive.
I know.
Saying that, where's he gone?
I thought we were just doing the new podcast about military history through the ages.
Oh, don't let them know that I'm doing a military history podcast. It's going to get like 3 listens.
Well, it'll get
the full-on unofficial controller of them. Weapons coming out! Speculation to speculate.
I find the rumours. I make the rumours.
What has become of you? Listen, I don't know if you remember, but the show normally starts when I ask you what you have been playing. Odd as odd cat, anybody who's listening at this point, whatever I asked you to do at the start of the preamble, stop doing it now. I'm going to ask Tom what he's hoping to play.
I think I'll pick up Hades when it comes out for the PS5 and Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Tell us what you're playing next week. You're back.
I don't know. Yeah, I think probably just the games I mentioned at the start. Plague's Tale, and play some more Streets of Rage 4, I'd say. Yeah. Nothing new on the horizon for a few weeks now for me.
No. I've been well out of my comfort zone. What I feel I need to do is get the PS5s finished. There's 5 games done.
Yeah.
I've been dabbling with.
So you can go back retro.
Call it. You read my mind. I've done another throat chop. Call it on the PS5 and get back on the PS3.
Why?
I don't know. Why can't I be happy?
You can be happy if that's what makes you happy, the PS3.
If I took you through there, showed you the modded PS3 with the hard drive and the updated stuff, and I showed you Arkham,
I only want to see, if you took me through and saw a Steam Deck, I would be here forever.
Oh my God. Anyway, finish Ratchet and Clank. You're not going to ask me, so I have to tell you. Finish Ratchet and Clank.
I'm glad you're calling it that now.
What did I call it before?
Ratchet and Crank.
Ratchet and Crank. Does that mean it's that weird looking video where I remember bus stops haunting my waking days where what's his face? Jason Statham had a jump lead on his tongue and he was pulling it out. Wasn't that Crank?
Probably, yeah.
That was always,
yeah.
Seeing his tongue so far stretched out of his body was more than I wasn't very keen on that. Do you think we've stretched this show as far as Jason Statham can stretch his tongue?
Yeah.
A little bit further. I think it's detached. Certainly jumped the shark. And that's all we have time for this week. Listeners, as always, thank you for your time. I look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the official controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, Tom.
See you, mate.